Welcome to the Games Revealed podcast, brought to you by Bunny Strike Studios. This is the news section of the podcast. Thank you for coming. And man, I am out of breath because I ran over from my gaming station just to get this in because I'm enjoying the medium. If you like good games, go and play the medium because I highly recommend it for those people that enjoy a great story and something a little different. As for the news for the week, it's going to be a little short for this week, but that's not a bad thing because it's going to be very sweet. A short and sweet little story. Mass Effect, we just got some new information, a new trailer for Mass Effect. It will be in the description below. And I am excited because I'm a massive Mass Effect fan. And I've been wanting to replay them again. I've been holding out for a remake, and because they're a remake or a remaster, I mean, to be honest, 3 was pretty polished by the end, and so I'm super excited for this. And in the trailer, and I think there was other things dropped too, like on Twitter. I don't think I know because I have an image right here of it, but one of the most interesting things is that there's going to be like over 40 things of DLC released between the 3 titles, which is awesome, which is probably going to be all of the DLC that was included, or maybe even worth being included besides multiplayer, which that will not be included, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think the strongest point for Mass Effect was the single player. I do hope that they do maybe potentially have a remaster for the multiplayer, but we will find that out in the future if this game does well, because we know that some remasters just did not do well. Rest in peace, Warcraft Reforged. Okay, so the DLC that was left out, and this is a very this is a very interesting one. How it was left out, it's the Mass Effect Pinnacle Station DLC. It's not, from my remembrance, a very critical DLC piece, but it was developed by an outside studio, and it was lost and corrupted. Some stories say lost, but from my understanding, it was corrupted. They didn't have really proper what is it? They didn't have very proper source control is what it is, and apparently it got corrupted, which is just bizarre that like a AAA title could go that way with its DLC, but that's what happened. And maybe they could remake it. I mean, we could watch some videos. They could watch some videos and remake it and release it as another DLC and charge $10. And I'm sure I would pay for it like a sucker. But on to the system requirements. And the system requirements aren't going to be that demanding. It's actually kind of nice in some ways. And in other ways, I was kind of hoping for my machine to melt down because I just want it to look as good as possible. But with that, Mass Effect 1 is going to be a semi-remake, and Mass Effect 2 and 3 are going to be remasters for the most part. And the requirement, and that kind of equates to what the requirements are going to be, because, you know, I think they're still using the Unreal Engine 3 in it, in all 3 of them. So the minimum requirements is of course going to be Windows 10. That's going to be for both minimum and recommended. The processor is going to be an Intel Core i5-3570 or an AMD FX 8350. And that's going to be 8 gigs of RAM. And then the GPU is going to be an NVIDIA GTX 760, an AMD Radeon 790, and with 2 gigs of video RAM. DirectX 11, which I think is standard with everything for who knows how long, because DirectX aren't being updated that often. And this is the surprising part. Storage is going to require 120 gigs of available space. And I'm assuming this is, you have to download all 3 at the same time kind of pack. And for 3 games, I mean, and with how much content is in them, I'm assuming a lot of that space is going to be high-res textures, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to have to clear out a couple other pieces of games, potentially, but I'm okay with that. With the recommended, with the processor, it's going to be a Core i7-7700 or an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. With the memory, it's going to be a 16 gigabyte amount, and the graphics card will be a GTX 1070 or an RTX 200, a Radeon Vega 56, and about 4 gigs of video memory is the recommended, meaning it's not going to take much. It's not going to take much to get this thing running at a beautiful pace. I kind of wish they would include the maxed out requirements, but we'll find that out. We'll bring it to you guys when we figure that out ourselves. Now, on to what they're kind of changing in all the Mass Effects. Mass Effect 1 is going to have changes to its camera, input, controls, aiming, AI, cover, weapon balance, and squad control, boss encounters, and the Mako. Which, to be honest, this is exactly what I wanted. In fact, they're also updating the textures. I don't know how much better the graphics are going to be. We've seen the trailer. I believe the trailer's in Mass Effect 1. It still looks really great. And the controls, some of the mechanics, aiming, a lot of this stuff is actually what was bad about Mass Effect 1, and a lot of people could not recommend it. So this is a massive, in my opinion, anyone that likes Mass Effect, this is a really good update that they're actually going to make core changes that matter. With Mass Effect 2 and 3, they're going to mainly focus on the combat system and the UI, which is a little weird for me for 3 with the combat system, but you know what? I kind of want it to be cohesive, so I'm hoping that all 3 of them feel very similar, and I'm looking at it, and it definitely feels like they're trying to make it feel like one long game, and I'm down for that because I am going to be getting into my pajamas and playing that game all week long until I have it finished, so I can tell you guys how it is. Okay, we're done with Mass Effect for now. In a couple of months, we will be hitting it up, and we'll probably even have a podcast for you on it. One of our review, overview podcasts where we dive deep into what we like and what is interesting and what is surprising. So, really, there wasn't a whole lot of news this week worth mentioning and worth dragging my butt out from the couch or the chair, wherever I'm playing the medium. But onto some quick news. Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 won't be out this year, says Blizzard. And the Magic Arena beta is available on some mobile devices now. I know that Shagwa is having a little issues with that, and he's been trying to figure out a way to play it. So anyone that has a lucky system that supported, I'm assuming, newer devices, get going on it. Download the Magic Arena. Valve loses its lawsuit over the Steam controller, which it's not very much for Valve. It's like $4 million lawsuit, so they're not going to hurt too bad. Just interesting. BioWare is in contact with the mod community for the Mass Effects, which seems interesting. So I'm hoping maybe they're going to really implement some nice modding tools. I know Unreal Engine does support that type of stuff, so it would be very, very fun to see some fun, creative mods for it. Gearbox. This is a surprising one a little bit. And maybe it's surprising just for me. Gearbox has been bought by Embracer Group for a $1.3 billion deal. It was almost more of a merger, but they claim that they're going to be able to work on more titles now without risking a loss. So we'll probably get some more games beyond Borderlands. I'm hoping there's still another Borderlands, but it will be interesting to see them go on because the Gearbox has been a very hit or miss with their titles, whether or not they do a very good job or they lose potentially some money. And then last but not least, and this is going to be just kind of a timed one, Epic's free games for the month or for the next about, I think, February 11th. So if you're listening to this, get on that now because it's Friday the 5th today. Metro Last Light Redux is one of the free games on Epic's Game Store. And then For the King is the other one. And I haven't played For the King, but I definitely recommend Metro. If you have not played that yet and you like first-person shooters and you like grim stories, play that. It is a fun game. Well, guys, that is it today for the news. Just a little bit of, I guess, ending. Please follow us, subscribe to us, whatever it is on the podcast platform you're listening to us. So you never miss any of our updated episodes, and we will show the love back when we get a big enough following. We will have a game server opened up in something like 7 Days to Die, and we will play with you guys for a massive amount of time. And plus, on top of that, if you want to watch us play games, which we do, I'd say once in a while, just, get reviews out, you can catch us on Twitch every once in a while. We'll have a better schedule up soon, but for any other content we make, keep an eye out at gamesrevealed.com. This has been a great time. I need to get back to the medium because I'm pretty sure I need to go find some ghosts. Peace out, guys. Later.